You're listening to the Get Out and Drive podcast, fueled by Auto Metal Direct with John, custom car nerd Meyer, and Jason, old car guy Carr.
We'll be bringing you gearheads everything you never wanted to know about cars and why they should be on the road and not in your garage. Are you ready to get out and drive?
John, AI is taking over the world.
At this point, I'll take any sort of intelligence. Even if it's artificial.
You think you hate it now?
Where do you drive it?
We made it through Christmas. We made it through New Year's.
Yeah.
And we've got a continued sponsorship with AMD. They've stuck around to keep us going, us two clowns here on the Get Out and Drive podcast. We're happy to have everybody joining us for the first podcast of 2026. If you're watching this on a platform that allows video, you'll notice our new background showing basically Get Out and Drive 2026. And Drive Day this year happens on October the 4th. So I hope you guys are able to get out and drive on October the 4th and head on over to getoutandrive.com. Make sure you register early. Last year, we had record-breaking numbers registering. Crazy. We ran out of stickers. We still have people that we haven't been able to get stickers to. So we'll make sure this year that you're registered early so we can get those going. People think, well, geez, October is 10 months away. Yes, it is. But we're already halfway through January.
Yeah.
And 2026 is going to be bloop.
Oh, yeah.
John, how is your new year so far?
Good. Selling Hot Wheels on eBay. They'll be coming in very quickly.
Yeah, I saw those your posts on social media, and some of that stuff is some pretty unique stuff, some pretty high dollar stuff.
Pretty high dollar. Nothing's closed yet, so it ought to go big. Most stuff closed Saturday.
So you should tell our listeners about eBay and what eBay does for us.
Okay. I know a lot of people kind of peruse eBay and you kind of buy stuff here and there and whatever. We have a full eBay store, and this is our 25th year that I have an eBay store. So we're celebrating 25 years of me selling on eBay. Fantastic feedback and everything, and just donate everything to Get Out and Drive podcast. And everything that I find, toys, Hot Wheels, swap meet stuff, household goods, whatever, everything's on there. And all of my time and energy and anything I put up, all the proceeds go to Get Out and Drive podcast to help get everything out to our listeners.
And I, for one, appreciate all of that because as co-host, I came on after Get Out and Drive became a thing, and I just show up. I donate my paycheck from Get Out and Drive podcast back to the Get Out and Drive podcast.
Wait. We're getting paid?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity to, when you're out gallivanting on a Saturday morning through the yard sales, or people who know that, that John is into car type toys or almost anything really. And the fact that he's able to get on eBay, sell those things, make a couple bucks, help fund some of the projects that we do and some of the traveling. We do a lot of traveling.
Oh, yeah.
On the Get Out and Drive podcast. And we hope to do that again this year to get to some big events. Get Out and Drive is big all over. And for those of you who've never heard of us, and this is your first time tuning in, we're huge. We're so freaking huge.
So huge.
We're the best. No, all joking aside, it's great to have you aboard. And we had a little bit of a last minute topic to talk on here on this episode.
You're watching the Get Out and Drive podcast, and I'm Jason with AMD. Check this out.
Here's your reminder to support the companies that support your right to get out and drive. Auto Metal Direct is a premier manufacturer of high-quality restoration parts for classic American cars and trucks. AMD offers a wide range of components including body panels, trim, glass, weather stripping, and much more, crafted to meet or exceed original equipment specifications. Be sure to visit autometaldirect.com as you get your ride ready to get out and drive.
What drives you?
Those of us who were born in the 70s, kind of grew up into the 70s and into the 80s, are going to be very, very familiar with this topic, because these were a thing. And what we're talking about when I say these, John, are what? We're talking about
70s Boogie Vans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I learned to walk in a crib on the floor of a 74 Chevy van.
Wow.
I don't remember it.
No.
But my dad tells me the story all the time.
Yeah.
Driving down the highway or driving through the city of Fredericton here as our capital city in New Brunswick.
Yep.
Step on the brakes and Jason would tumble to the front. And step on the gas, Jason would tumble to the back. And that's how I learned apparently to walk, was in the back of this 70s. It was blue. It was a shorty. It had a red sunroof. And it had running boards, and they were fiberglass molded running boards that come up over the wheels.
Right.
Had big, wide 60 series tires on it.
Right.
If I can remember correctly, just from the pictures that I remember seeing, like Krager style wheels. I don't know if they were Kragers or maybe they were Keystones or something, but nevertheless, orange shag carpet.
Wow.
It was fun. And if I can find some pictures, I'll be sure to get Paul to flash them up here on the screen, because, that thing was a 74. I was born in 75, and, learning to walk. So I was 8 or 9 months learning to walk in this thing. It was pretty classic to drive in a Chevy van or 40 Econoline.
Right.
Maybe it was a B series Dodge van.
Right. I thought you were going to tell me you were born like Ricky Bobby style, like, and boom, out you came.
That I cannot attest to. But I do just like, there's certain things as a young child I can remember. I don't ever remember being in that van, but I do remember, just based on the pictures, like as a kid looking through and saying, "Oh wow, that's a pretty cool van." And Dad belonged to what was called at the time the Capital City Van Club.
Oh, okay.
So you pull into the local parts store up here. It was called Canadian Tire, and the whole parking lot was full of 40 Econoline vans, Dodge B Series vans, Chevy vans, GMCs, and of all years. We're going to like the cab over style Econoline and Dodge and Chevy vans, and just everything was fantastic. Why were these vans so popular, John, in the 70s? What brought them to such a cult-ish following back then?
I can probably say sex, drugs, rock and roll. Period.
Yeah. And you wouldn't be wrong.
Right. And that's where I remember that stuff, because there were several vans and vanner type cars and stuff that would go around that were in my neighborhood and stuff, because you'd build a custom van. You have to tick off all the boxes. You have, naked lady riding a dragon. Check that box off. Airbrushed on the side. Somebody's name on the side of it. A bubble window that's on it. Check that box. Probably there was companies that made all sorts of different style, like hearts and musical notes and all sorts of stuff. You had to have a window, had to have a visor for the windshield, wheel flares. You had the basic stuff, and then you kind of kicked it up a level, and you had side pipes, had a hood scoop, had a different grill that had headlights, chain steering wheel, and the better vans had a wet bar inside and a foldable bed and all that stuff. And it went from one or two vans, and then companies started building them and selling them. And you could even see these things and give it away on The Price is Right.
Yeah.
It was absolutely incredible. And I think the paint and psychedelic colors and psychedelic designs and all that crap, all of it was drug induced, 100%.
Well, and like the murals alone, like you go and you take today, some of those murals that they had, and some were pretty seedy.
Oh yeah.
But like if I had to pay somebody today to paint the side of a Chevy van, airbrush it or whatever they were doing back in the day, well, I guess it probably would have been airbrushed. There's no vinyl, back in the 60s and 70s. So they're airbrushing these murals on, and I'm not sure what they would have cost back then, but I'm guaranteeing you today to get two sides of a van done of some form of a mural, just minimum $5,000.
If you were to do it today.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back then it was a bag of weed and a case of beer.
Yep. Yeah, because everybody that you hung out with had a talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
One guy was a suspension guy.
Right.
One guy was an exhaust guy. Another fellow was the mural guy.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy was shag carpet.
Shaggy.
Right. So, and one guy was remember the sunroof guy?
Oh yeah.
He was the guy that you were scared to go talk to.
Right.
Because he was the guy who drank all day.
Sure.
And you trusted him with a saw
to cut a hole
in your van.
Yeah.
Right. And you didn't question him. You just he just put his hand out and you gave him $50 or the bag of weed or the couple of pieces of beer.
Right.
And before you know it, you had metal shavings in your cup holder.
Yes. And it, like I said, a lot of the modifications have been drug induced, because you look and you go, why does this van need 3 rear tires? Why do we cut 2 vans in half and weld them together?
No.
Why does this have gull wing doors? What's wrong with having a slider door on the side of it? We have a gull wing door on the side. And these guys just built stuff out of nothing.
Well, that's just, and that's part of it too, right? Like we didn't have all the fancy stores that we have today and online shops that you can go and say, oh, well, we didn't have AMD.
No, we didn't have that. Right. Oh, yeah.
We didn't have AMD. We didn't have all these suspension companies. So if you wanted to lower the front end of your G van, what did you do? You torched the coils.
Yeah. You had to cut stuff up.
Right. You go to the Ford vans. What did you do? You bent the I-beams.
No.
Right. You torched them. And that's all you could do to lower those things.
I know. That's scary.
Right? And if you wanted to put a big, fat, wide 15-inch tire on the back of it, well, that wasn't going to clear the fender well.
You had to cut it out, weld something else on.
Well, you cut it out and you put flares on it.
Right.
So, like, we're going back. We've always talked about rat rods and how rat rodding, kind of became a thing. It was a no money hobby. Right. And back in the day, if you wanted a hot rod, you went to the junkyard, you stole parts off of one car, you made it fit another.
Right.
Whether it was wheels, tires, suspension, brakes, body panels, visors, flares, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
My dad in the 70s was a single dad.
Right.
But he had a pretty friggin' cool van.
Right. Yeah, that's what happened. Because there was a trend, and we always talk about trends, they go about 30 years or whatever. Custom cars came around 50s, 60s. And when the 70s came in, muscle cars and stuff, all the custom cars, your standard customized Chop 50 Mercury and, a Section 50 Ford and all that stuff, those became outdated.
Disappeared.
And the next thing that come in was, street freak, gasser style, nose high cars, and vans. And you can look at any ISCA, International Show Car Association, you look at any ISCA pictures that are late 60s, early 70s, everything has ribbon, endless line, ribbons, twisted ribbons, and psychedelic. And if you don't know what it looks like, just close your eyes and poke your fingers in your eyes right now. And that's exactly what the paint looks like. And it's crazy. It's crazy, the paint on these things. And these guys, another common thing was putting a acetylene torch and turning it way down so the smoke comes out of the acetylene. And you put that in your brand new paint, and it makes it all look smoky and stupid looking. And it's fantastic.
John, speaking of smoky and fantastic, once upon a time, you did yourself a replica van.
Yes. Yeah, I did build my own Boogie Van, and it's been quite popular, copied quite a lot. Built originally, again, because I like Hot Wheels, it was built off of the Hot Wheels Super Van, and it checks all the boxes. It has wheel flares, side pipes, the right stance, flames, all that type of stuff, the paint, everything on it. And I built it for a customer, and it's a fantastic truck, all black, traditional, long, thin, multicolored flames on it. Just a fantastic truck. People liked it enough, they start copying it, and it's also in a 1/18 diecast.
That's pretty cool. You've done something right when.
Right. When your work becomes diecast.
Yeah. And you don't even have to be a NASCAR driver.
That's true.
You could be John Meyer from Illinois.
And that is exactly right. Generic fella. I'd say, even now, it's a resurgence of everything. Stuff's coming back. People are building everything that's out of the norm. Gasser cars, they're building street freak type cars, building anything to get attention. If you go to Good Guys, if you go to, any big car show, you don't want to show up with another orange and white 69 Camaro pace car. You want to show up with some kind of crazy car with crazy freak paint on it, and it actually gets attention.
Another form of that, as we continue talking about vans made their popularity in a couple of different ways. Mm-hmm. Is it was not just cheap transport. I don't want to say cheap transportation, but you could buy vans fairly inexpensively,
right?
Because they were cargo haulers, but some of them were people haulers, and you could cross a couple of boxes off at the same time when you started getting into conversion vans. That were not just people haulers, but they were also campers. Mm-hmm. So, when you kind of transition from the sport van, I guess if we wanted to really kind of call it that, to the conversion van took that just a step further. Mm-hmm. It created a little bit of luxury. And actually today, like you go and you buy yourself a Sprinter van that's got like 4 seats in it, all leathered up and TVs galore and tinted windows and blah, blah, blah. Right. Those are $250,000 vans. Mm-hmm. If you want a basic van that has a small water holding tank, freshwater tank, it's got a small bed in the back and the ability to cook mm-hmm. something on the either outside or inside, and maybe a small little fridge. Those were very popular out of the 70s into the 80s. And those people crossed the country back and forth.
Yeah.
Right. With their small block Chevys, Fords, 318 Dodge.
Yeah.
And they just saw the world.
Yeah.
Right. But pull into a campsite.
Oh yeah, pull up to a campsite and do what you want to do, and you get to see the world from your dashboard. Now, don't get me wrong. And it's completely different. It's the same, but it's completely different. The hippies in the VW vans were not actually part of the vanner movement in the 70s. Yeah. They were just not included in that for whatever reason. I don't know why. But that was a whole different genre. I
mean,
go ahead.
I was just going to say that the hippies were doing it not out of want, but simply out of necessity. Excuse me. That's where they lived.
Oh yeah, that was their home.
Where they traveled. They traveled from place to place. People who had the sport vans of the same era, they were doing it for fun.
Right.
And in some cases, sure, they lived in it, but they were doing it for fun. Hippies were doing it out of necessity. They were oversimplifying by, this is my house, this is my transportation, right? This is everything for me, right? What was that old saying that they said? If you don't smarten up, you're going to live in a van down by the river. Now everybody wants a van down by the river.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and that's where that's how that trend has transformed from VW bus and the hippies to, well, we don't like the VW because they're old and they're clapped out and they're blah blah. We want American made, America, and we can drive our Dodge, Ford, and our Chevys. And we're going to build them into something custom. We're a little bit redneck. We're blue collar through the week, but on the weekends we're going to go haul ass and we're going to go blah 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 and all this. Virginia's for lovers and blah blah blah.
Wow!
Jump in and join the Get Out and Drive podcast. What Drives Youth initiative by supporting these organizations that support the next generation in the automotive industry.
Operative Talent is committed to inspiring and empowering the next generation of automotive professionals. Learn more at operativetalent.com.
The RPM Foundation safeguards the critical skills necessary to restore and preserve collector vehicles by supporting hands-on training and engaging the next generation of craftsmen and women. Learn more at rpm.foundation.
So it's funny to see, though, like the whole purpose of this episode was just to kind of talk about, the vans, but it's funny how it transitions from, like you said, the hippie van, which was a necessity. That was their home. That was their transportation, blah, blah, blah,
right,
to the average blue collar guy wanting to just do something cool. And then transitioning from the 80s into the 90s to the conversion van, family hauler with the captain's chairs and the freaking wood, the oak throughout those things was phenomenal.
Yeah,
more oak than a kitchen.
Oh yeah.
And then now we go into the sport trek vans or the
overlander stuff.
Overlander stuff, and you're just again we keep evolving from the highway cruiser to the off-road boondocker, or what we classify today as overland.
Right. Yeah, and it's people that just go somewhere and they say, well, this is RV. This is what we do. It's all the little niches of things. It's different, the different niches of people that, they may want to pull a van. They might want to pull a camp trailer with a van. And that's a whole other offshoot of crazy people. The people that have to do with the tin can tourists that pull the little canned ham trailers. Those people are just nuts, but awesome.
Yeah. But you've got to have a mindset for some of that stuff, and you got to think, okay, where's your priority? What's the main purpose of your van? Well, if it's transportation, then you probably don't need a bed in the back of it. If it's moving your sound gear because you're in a band, well, it's a cargo van. If you've got 6 kids, it's a people hauler. The whole point is that everything transitions at some point in time. Even to modern day. Yeah. In 1999, Chevrolet totally, in my opinion, revolutionized the pickup truck. They made it more of a multi-purpose rather than just the farm truck. And then in the 90s, they started doing that with the OBSs. But in 99, they came out and they said, you know what? It's time. We're going to call it something. We're going to call it a Silverado. Wow. We're not going to call it the 1500 or the C10. We're going to give it a name. And we're going to put this engine and transmission in it that in 25 and 30 years down the road, they're going to be using this in their hot rods instead of the small block Chevy. And
It's true.
It is. And as funny as it sounds, me saying it, it's exactly what happened. They revolutionized the truck to where we are today in $100,000 pick-em-up trucks.
The cowboy Cadillac.
Will never see a dirt road, likely. They'll never tow a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
They'll haul little Johnny or little Susie off to soccer practice. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Mom will drive it to the mall to get groceries, to go shopping. Dad will cruise down the highway getting his, 15, 16 miles per gallon. Like, how often do you see a big quad cab truck or four-door truck with one person in it?
A lot.
Every time you see one.
Every time you see one.
Right?
Well, this is everything you're talking about is evolution from one thing, because trucks and stuff they evolved like that. So did Jeeps and four-wheel drive trucks. They just evolved and evolved and evolved into the pavement princess that has a giant winch on the front of it that still has a tag on it.
And that's a whole nother topic, talking about Jeeps and Jeep people. Like that, mark that on the calendar. That's our next episode. We need to talk about Jeeps and Jeep. Like,
it's called I Don't Give a Duck About Your Jeep.
Yeah. And what is up with the freaking ducks? As we move through evolution, everything has evolved. Right. The car has evolved. It will continue to evolve. As much as we dog on EVs and electric vehicles, that's an evolution.
Everything we're talking about is.
Right. Can you imagine in 1910, you're riding your horse and buggy with your wife beside you, a couple of kids in the back, and some grain, and you're heading out of town, and this automobile pulls out in front of you, spooks your horse, and you're all pissed off and thinking to yourself, oh, those city folk driving their automobiles, I will never drive. I'll have a horse forever.
Yeah.
John, just so you know, that's you and me.
That's true.
I'll never drive an EV. That's you and me.
That is me and you.
Right. And tongue in cheek, I'm not going to say I'll never own an EV, but what I will say is you will never force me to drive.
Oh, wow. That's big words.
It is. You'll never do it. In Canada today, there is a mandate by 2035, there will not be a brand new gas-powered vehicle sold. In Canada, that's a mandate right now by our current government. Talk about your evolution. Again, we're getting into a completely different subject again, but we're talking about the evolution, how, the hippie van turned into a sports van, turned into a people hauler, camper vans. Automotive, cars in general, cars, trucks, everything has evolved. Where is, after EV, John, where is the next thing going to be? Are we talking Jetsons style evolution here? Like, again, we're both products of the 70s, watching the Flintstones and watching the Jetsons. Will we be flying cars? We thought we were going to be there.
Now, look, you can stop, because I don't trust the drunks that can drive a vehicle that sticks to the ground.
We don't want these things falling out of the sky.
Right. I don't want to trust a drunk that's driving something that's going to fall out of the sky. No. I will stand and say no.
But I guess if we're flying cars, I mean, take me home. Bloop. It'll fly itself. Besides, when the aliens come down in I don't know what, 10, 15 years, when they come down, we'll get their technology, so it'll be fine.
Okay.
It'll be fine. We're going to, let's skip over EVs and jump right into flying cars.
No. You said bloop, take me home. Did you see the new ad for all the Ford vehicles that they said it says pay attention to more important things in life, and it shows someone not touching the steering wheel, and they're promoting their self-driving feature. Because if you want to, cut your kid's hair or eat a bowl of soup or do anything except for driving, please don't.
Yeah, we have a hard enough time with people who want to drive.
Right. And I'm sorry, this is supposed to be about vans. I'm going to go off on a tangent. I'm sorry. I have never driven a vehicle that is self-driving. So maybe somebody can tell me how it works down in the comments. Somebody can explain to me. I need to be learned. Okay. When it's snowing and my cute little EV car drives itself by finding the little lines on the highway, how does it know in the winter where to go? Do you know? Jason, do you know?
Are you asking me? Because I don't rightly know.
I have no idea. How does the tiny little car with this 300 cameras looking out for everybody, golf carts and buses and children and everything, how does it see in the snow where to go? People that have driven an EV, down in the comments, tell me. How?
I've got one for you. It may or may not top that. Obviously, in Canada, we get lots of snow in the wintertime. Our winter is long. And I got thinking about this when I saw a Tesla drive by my business the other day. I thought EVs, and especially Teslas in general, generally have a lot of torque. You've got direct drive, which the auto enthusiast in me thinks that's pretty amazing to have direct drive and all that torque. But in the wintertime, you don't want that.
Nope.
Does an EV have a winter driving setting to pull back on that torque so that when you go and it just doesn't spin the crap out of your wheel? And some people's going to be in the comments saying, oh, well, it's got traction control just like your car does. I'm like, oh, okay. But we all know what traction control, well, maybe John doesn't, but we all know what traction control does when you start spinning in the snow. It just goes and you're going nowhere anyway.
Isn't that where the little claws come out of the tires?
Yeah. Yep.
And then maybe that's one of my toys that does that. But I don't understand. I don't understand how this works.
Look, we got way off topic.
Yeah.
So again, mark on the calendar.
Skirt.
EV rant.
EV rant.
We can continue this conversation in another episode. Guys, if you are listening to this and you feel like John and I, make sure that if it's on a platform that you can comment, tell us exactly how you feel and how right we are. But if you're on the other side of the fence and you're listening to us because you think that we're a couple of babbling buffoons, again, we still want to hear. We want to know where the argument lies. But at the same token, if you're just listening to us in a podcast form and you have a topic of conversation that you think would be great for John and I to banter back and forth with, regardless of whether we're right or we're wrong, just great conversation. Make sure you head over to getoutanddrive.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom of your screen, and there's a listener hotline. You can record a quick message. You can also email us or contact us through the website. Tell us what you want to hear. We'd love to hear from you, and if we do, we'll make sure we send you out some stickers just for reaching out. John, this was a great topic of conversation. We got a little sidetracked there at the end.
What a disaster.
It's always fun to talk about the evolution of a specific vehicle. Again, maybe EVs is another topic we can talk about somewhere down the road, but we definitely got to get back on that Jeep and Jeep.
Oh, God. Yes.
So mark that on the calendar for another upcoming episode. Any final thoughts before we get done here?
No final. You don't want to hear what I have to say. No.
Connect with us on social media. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Follow us on X at Get Out and Drive Pod. Cruise on over to our website, getoutanddrive.com, for all the info you never wanted to know about our podcast. Hit us up on our listener hotline. Be the first to know what's happening. get industry news, and grab your Get Out and Drive merch.
What drives you?